So how we've mentioned, engine swaps are simply just moving one system at a time. And today we're going to be tackling the fuel system. And as you guys saw in the last video, because you guys watched last video, well, the fuel system was just a mess. We opened the front trunk and it was disgusting. There was mold everywhere, it was just super dirty. So I decided that we're first going to start off, we're going to remove everything from the front trunk, give everything a deep clean, and then we'll reinstall it and we'll explain how we mounted our fuel cell in the front trunk of the car. Now we do have a couple disclaimers coming up throughout the video, but I'll talk about that more later. Let's get to actually working on the car. So our fuel system is very simple. We have a 10-gallon fuel cell that's mounted to the front trunk. The only modification to do the entire chassis was remove this one bracket that's for the spare tire. How we mounted our bracket is very simple. We took some flat stock steel, we welded 4 studs in the corners for our fuel tank to mount on. And one thing we had to do was bend this one part, make a notch so our 2 -10 fittings can fit. We have one pump routed in the back, and we ran all new lines. We have a -8 feed and a -6 return. As far as our battery tray, we have some angle iron that's just cut to size, 2 pieces, and just a general tie down. Our tie down is very simple, piece of flat stock with 2 holes in it, and that's it. And now, as you guys can see, there was a huge difference by simply just cleaning it. Honestly, hitting with pressure cleaner did most of the work, but at least we went over it with some soap and really got into the little nooks and crannies that the pressure cleaner couldn't. As you guys saw, it was just simply some flat stock. Now, we could have put some riv nuts instead of bolts, but I felt like the studs made it a little easier for us to actually put the fuel tank on again into position. Again, we do have a -8 running as a feed going into the motor and a -6 return coming out. The line that's the left has to be ran as a vent, and other than that, all our fuel lines are pretty much ran. So now we're going to move on to the next part of the engine swap. That's going to be the electrical components. Now, super unfortunately, I really wish that prior me would have actually recorded the process of cutting up the old engine harness that was compatible for the 3S and modifying it for the K-Series. K-Series is immensely simple. It's an awesome engine, just how simple it is, and the lack of wires that it needs is impressive. The 3S is a little bit more complicated and there's a lot more things running, but when you use the K-Series, we actually delete the fuse box that goes inside the engine bay. Now, unfortunately, past Aston never recorded that, and well, I can't do anything about it now because, well, fast forward a couple years, it's already done. But I do plan on having another K-Series that I am going to swap into an MR2 at some point, and we'll definitely go more in depth on that process on that. But I'll link down below some resources that I use to actually get through that process. But for the next part, let's get ready to actually start installing the engine harness on the car, and maybe we can see this thing possibly run by the end of the video. That'd be pretty sick to see, actually. Now, the very important part of any engine swap is going to be management. Now, if you're using a bone stock K-Series, you can actually use the stock ECU with it. Now, if you want to start doing things such as adding an RBC manifold, maybe bigger injectors and exhaust, etc., and you want to get the car tuned, you're going to need some sort of ECU. Now, Honda has a couple things. Number one, Honda has standalone ECUs such as this one. This in particular is a Honda K-Pro V4, where we're actually going to go into here with our laptop and we're going to completely set up all the parameters of our motor, and with that, we'll be able to get it to run. Honda also sells like little plug-in Flash Pros that you can plug into your car. They're called Honda Flash Pros. You plug them in, you can flash tune your ECU and then use that. These are better. This is very close to being a standalone ECU. As far as the engine harness, we actually have an engine harness here. This is from Dre's Racing. It's pretty much just a rewrapped stock RSX engine harness. He just asks you what type of motor you're going to be using, and from there they just make the harness to whatever you need. They have the option of finding your own local harness. I would highly suggest buying that and then rewrapping yourself. You can save quite a lot of money. But unfortunately, I couldn't find anything, so this is all we got. And let's go spend some more money on a car that hasn't ran yet. So now for our ECU, we're simply just gonna bolt it in right here, and we'll connect our plugs, and we'll just be right back. So now when it comes down to our ECU, we simply just put it here against our back wall. Now this is all that's coming out of our old engine harness, and then this is all gonna be going to our engine. This is gonna act as our main body harness now. All these relays, these are gonna be our 3 main relays as well as our ECU. Everything's a nice tight package right here behind your seat. You won't even realize it's there once you do a little wire tugging. Now we do have our cable connected, so now I can go ahead and go grab my PC and we can go upload all of our data to the ECU.
Many hours later.
Alright guys, so quick update. For starters, I'm sorry for the poor lighting. It's nighttime and I have the lights on outside. So I've been trying to get the car started, and we have for the most part everything hooked up. I hit the key for the ignition and well, the car wants to turn over, but it sounds like it's getting stuck. So originally I was using 2 different batteries, and both batteries were of very poor condition. They're very old batteries. So I just figured the batteries were probably bad, and well, I went to Walmart, purchased another battery. Spent $175 on a Walmart battery. Not sure when that changed, but that caught me by surprise. But anyways, if it means getting the car running, I bought it, I came home, I put the car now on, and I have the same issue. The starter's starting, but it sounds like it's getting stuck. So I put the battery charger on it, I put it on jump start with a brand new battery, and it's still having the same issue. So pretty safe to say it's probably not a voltage issue. So I went down there by hand to try to spin the motor, and well, the motor is pretty tough to spin. So having our spark plugs in that socket and having our pistons go up, it obviously is going to create a compression. That compression makes it harder for us to spin it. So if I take that spark plug out, when the piston goes up, all the air has somewhere to escape. It won't compress, and it really softens the load, and it should make it very easy for me to spin by hand. If I can't spin by hand, then I know at some point I have some sort of issue where the motor is locked up. Hope not, but let's take it one step at a time. And the first thing we're gonna do is let's take out the spark plugs, let's see how they look, and let's go from there. And so I hate to call defeat, but unfortunately I took all the spark plugs out of the car, and the motor got no easier to spin. So I'm not too sure what it could be. I threw a little bit of oil down the cylinders. Maybe it's been a very long time since those rings have actually been lubed up. I don't really know, but I'm not going to also push the motor when it's beyond normal resistance. I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, unfortunately, I'll be gone for the next 5 days. Between work and school, it's just I don't really have much of a life at the moment. and I'm trying to make the most that I can out of it. Now I won't have any time to be working on the car, and I hate to end it here, but this is where it's gonna have to end for today. I hate leaving you guys short on content. Believe me, I've been trying, but I've been working a lot, and well, that's just part of life. And so for now, for the next little bit, it's gonna be a rough couple months for me, and then once I kind of knock out majority of my schoolwork and life kind of settles down a little bit, things should get a lot easier. I'm kind of expecting hopefully by like the second quarter of 2023 things should be a lot better. But until then, we're going to keep posting. We're going to have this MR2 done. I'm trying to have this thing done by the end of the year. And hopefully I can actually be able to enjoy this car, at least for Christmas. That'd be a really sick Christmas present to myself to actually see this car being done. Anyways, like always, you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, leave them down below. I try to respond to every comment within a reasonable time. If you guys like what you see, subscribe, leave a like. I'm trying my best out here. And again, we are no professionals. We're just out here making the most we can in our backyard and having a great time while we do it. So like always, you guys be safe. See you guys in the next one.